We begin on April 14 with Robert Retka officially taking command of the 429. Unfortunately, Robert's assigned aircraft had previously belonged to Roque Ramirez, and Roque had taken that aircraft with him when Early Access unexpectedly removed him from the campaign. So before doing anything else, we needed to give our third commander a new F-80. Alex Olson was also without an aircraft, so we assigned him another replacement and reorganized some of the empty positions left by pilots who had been killed in action. We also had 11 supply requests available, which we used to order 6 new aircraft, additional fuel, and more ordnance. Before personally joining another mission, I decided to send the squadron on a couple of automated area patrols. These missions allow us to assign the pilots an aircraft without personally flying with them. The first patrol returned without any important events, and the second was slightly more expensive. 2 aircraft came back damaged and both pilots returned wounded. Thankfully, nobody was killed, which by the standards of the 429th, qualifies as an exceptional successful afternoon. These missions also earned us additional supply requests, which we immediately reinvested into more aircraft, fuel, and general replacements. After this, we finally got into reviewing the pilots. This is something I've been wanting to do. Now with the squadron temporarily reorganized, I decided to explore the individual pilot files and finally look at how everybody has been performing. The files track their time in service, combat missions, flight hours, confirmed victories, awards, and the aircraft assigned to them. What surprised me was how few members of the squadron had actually confirmed any victories. Most of our pilots had completed several missions without destroying a single aircraft or ground target. A few had managed to confirm 1 ground target each, and then there was Camille Padien. Padien had 3 confirmed aerial victories, making him one of the most successful pilots in the squadron besides whichever commander happened to still be alive that week. That performance earned him the Air Medal and the Pilot's Badge. I also gave the Pilot's Badge to the pilots with confirmed ground victories. Padien received 1 additional privilege, permission to display the Squadron Insignia on his aircraft. It's a small feature, but I really like that the mode allows to recognize individual pilots and visually personalize their aircraft based on what they accomplished. Over time, these names can become actually recurring characters rather than anonymous AI wingman, so I like that. After completing the awards and squadron management, we advanced to April 16. A new phase of the campaign had begun, Operation Dauntless. That change introduced a new group of missions, including one mission type that immediately caught my attention, a bomber escort. We had already intercepted enemy bombers several times, but this will be our first opportunity to protect a large friendly formation during its attack. And this time, Robert Retka would personally join the mission. We began the mission already in the air, alongside a formation of 12 B-29 Superfortresses. And visually, this was one of the most impressive moments I have experienced in IL-2 Korea so far. Flying beside 12 massive bombers, watching their silhouette fill the horizon and seeing the escorts formations moving around them created an incredible sense of scale. Moments like these are exactly why I want career mode to succeed. It did not feel like a small isolated skirmish, it felt like we were participating in a much larger military operation. For the first part of the flight, everything remained quiet. The bombers held their formation, the escort maintained their positions, and the entire group continued towards the targets. Then the MiG-15s arrived. Several MiGs approached the formation and began making attacks against the B-29s. This should have become the major battle of the mission. We had 12 bombers, a large escort force, and multiple enemy jets moving through the formation. Unfortunately, the actual behavior was much less convincing than the setup. The B-29 defensive gunners barely reacted to the MiGs. The enemy fighters met repeated passes, but despite attacking bombers that offered very little resistance, they managed to destroy only one. The escorts were not much more effective. The MiGs remained extremely fast, made enormous sweeps into turns, and rarely committed themselves to a proper fight. Every time we attempted to close the distance, they simply extended away before beginning another wide pass. There was very little meaningful interaction within it. Nobody in our flight managed to destroy a single MiG, and the engagement eventually ended without a decisive result. This was disappointing because the visual setup had so much potential. The bombers eventually reached their targets and began releasing their payloads over the city. And once again, the visual spectacle was incredible. It was one of those moments where you wish you just had more bombers. Like, if this is how it can look with these few aircraft, how it would look with a bunch more. Even then, however, it appeared that some of the B-29s never released their bombs. The attack was already spectacular, but seeing the complete formation behave consistently could have made it even better. After the bombing run, we escorted the survival aircraft home. For once, Robert Retka landed successfully. The mission was complete, but the report reflected how little had actually happened from our squadron's perspective. No enemy aircraft destroyed, nothing really crazy happened. Just one beautiful operation that never quite became as exciting as it should have been. Rather than ending the day there, I decided to launch another mission. This time we selected a close air support against an enemy artillery position. The objective was much simpler. Locate the artillery group, follow the target marker, and destroy as much of the position as possible. This mission also taught us something important about logistics. I initially wanted to send 12 aircraft, but the squadron no longer had enough fuel to support a formation that large. For the first time, our resource management directly limited the size of the mission, so instead of 12 F-80s, we departed with 9. When we reached the target area, a friendly F-51 was already preparing to mark the enemy position. The Mustang made a strafing pass over the artillery, and red smoke identified the exact location we needed to attack. I moved in first, lined up the target, and released my bombs. After my previous experience on the airfield attack and well now with the B-29 bombers, I honestly did not expect much assistance from the AI squadron. I assumed they would circle the target, hesitate for several minutes, and possibly attack something after the war had ended. Then the AI did completely the opposite. The squadron actually formed a line at altitude. One after another, they rolled into their dives and began attacking the artillery position. Every aircraft committed to the target. Every pilot released their bombs, and within moments the entire area disappeared beneath a sequence of explosions. This was exactly the kind of coordinated squadron attack I had been hoping to see. The formation looked organized, the pilots behaved decisively, and the attack completely destroyed the position. 11 artillery pieces were eliminated. What makes this a little bit frustrating is that the AI clearly appears capable of producing moments like this. It's so annoying, because this is why inconsistency matters so much. One mission can feel unfinished and lifeless, and then suddenly one mission creates one of the best moments of the entire campaign. The potential is clearly there, it simply needs refinement. So, because there was really not a dogfight or anything interesting developing, I told the squadron to get back to base, and that's exactly what we did. So on our way back, Robert Retka reached the airfield and completed another safe landing. For the first time in this series, the commander appears to be developing a healthy relationship with the runway. Then, while I was slowing down, I heard an impact somewhere behind me. I looked back and discovered one of our F-80s crashing into the river beside the airfield. Apparently entered a flat spin during the approach and falling directly out of the sky. At this point, I can only assume someone inside the 429th is trying to sabotage us. Fortunately, this assassination attempt was unsuccessful. Unfortunately for the pilot, the river was considerably less forgiving. Despite that completely unexplained accident, the mission has been highly successful. 11 artillery positions were destroyed, the objective was complete, and the squadron earned 8 additional supply requests. We used part of those requests to order more fuel because the campaign had finally demonstrated that logistics are not just a number sitting in a menu. Now, I would like to stop here for just 1 second. For anybody who has watched all the way to this point, first of all, thank you very much. Second, I want to be completely honest about where I currently stand with this series. I think Commander career has enormous potential, and when the AI works, as it did during the artillery strike, the results can be genuinely excellent. But the inconsistency is beginning to frustrate me. The B-29 Escort should have been an incredible battle, but the bombers barely defended themselves, the Escort accomplished very little, and the MiGs refused to do mostly nothing, or anything. So I am genuinely considering pausing the series for now, and returning once career mode and the AI had been more time to improve. This is not simply a request for comments or engagement. I genuinely want to know whether you are enjoying these episodes despite the current issues. If you want me to continue exploring the campaign in its present state, tell me below. If enough of you are still enjoying the management, the developing pilots, and the unpredictable story of the 429th, I am willing to continue. But if you would rather see the series return later once the AI has been improved, that feedback is equally useful. Thank you again for watching and for following the campaign this far. Robert Retka has now survived an entire episode, which officially makes him the most successful commander in the history of this series. Hopefully that achievement does not go to his head. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next sortie.